What's up guys, it's Masso 2010 here, and today I am here with probably one of my most anticipated death battles ever, apart from Goku versus Superman. Hulk versus Doomsday. I have been debating this with myself for God knows how long, and I am so happy they finally did it. I could not be more excited about this. And I know I don't usually do reactions to death battle, but unless you say any different, I'll only do reactions to the death battles I think seem interesting, like Hulk versus Doomsday. Oh, I cannot be more happy about this. I finally get to know who would win.
Before we get into the episode, I have something very important.
Let's do this.
Our new game, Super Red Ray Gun, just launched on Steam.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. There we go.
Pure, unadulterated.
Oh, I've seen that video.
Usually, in a stressful situation, you'd want to avoid this sort of emotion in order to keep yourself focused.
Unless you're a giant rampaging pile of muscles, like these two.
Dr. Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk.
And Doomsday, the monster who killed Superman.
Damn right.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh, those animations look great as well.
Within each of us, oft-times, there dwells a mighty and raging fury. And this suits no one better than the mild-mannered scientist, Bruce Banner.
I love that
Bruce
soundtrack.
Gets angry. Oh boy, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Dr. Robert Bruce Banner may have grown up with few friends, but what he lacked in popularity, he made up tenfold with his intellect. However, in spite of his gifts, it was never enough to earn the respect and love of his father.
Partly because Bruce was so smart that his alcoholic dad literally thought he was a monster and expressed that to Bruce pretty thoroughly. God damn! How much distance do you think you got there, Wiz?
9, 10 feet?
Man, with an arm like that, he could really go places. Like the nut house after he murdered his wife right in front of Bruce. Aw.
Understandably traumatized, Bruce coped by creating an imaginary friend to talk to.
You know, I had an imaginary friend once.
Really?
You did? What was his name?
Dad.
Oh.
Aww.
Well, Bruce's friend
that's
served
Sarge,
as an
isn't it?
emotional outlet
He's in the
all
army.
the way through his college graduation. However, his advice to Bruce was oftentimes destructive.
So when the U.S. military recruited Bruce to make weapons, it was actually kind of fitting.
Bruce was tasked with developing a gamma bomb, which would use gamma radiation to target enemy weapons and buildings without endangering human lives. At least, that's what Bruce was told.
Surprise, surprise! Gamma radiation is actually pretty fucking harmful! And when it came time to test the bomb and some dumb kid decided to play his harmonica right in the test zone, Bruce asked his assistant to stop the countdown and dashed off to save him. But turns out his assistant was a Russian spy who set off the bomb anyway.
On that strange, strange day, Bruce's imaginary friend became a real-life terror as he transformed into the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, the CGI in that second one was great. Not that one, the other one.
Really?
Yes, apparently. Ever since, whenever
That
he's
one.
angry, Bruce's body and mind morphs into that of the Hulk's, granting him unmeasurable power.
While he loses Bruce's brain power, the Hulk is ridiculously strong. He can leap great distances, survive the harshest environments, and most importantly, smash the crap
that fight
out of
was
everything
amazing.
with his bare fists.
He also knows a technique known as the thunderclap, which creates a shockwave that can deafen foes, level forests, and push back explosions.
As if he needed anything more than that, the Hulk has a healing factor that gives Wolverines a run for his money.
Oh yeah.
You should be dead.
He's super strong and super
Forgot
hard to
about that.
kill. What's not to like?
Well, there's one little detail that kind of ruins the whole experience. Bruce can't really control the Hulk. In fact, the Hulk is his own being, and they both hate each other, vying for dominance over Bruce's body. And yet, Bruce and the Hulk are often reminded how much they depend on each other for survival.
Bruce figured if he was stuck with his big green Goliath forever, he might as well try using it
Yeah.
for good, eventually joining the Avengers, Defenders, the Fantastic Four, and even the Illuminati.
Hulk has held up a
Okay.
150 billion ton mountain, escaped Earth's gravitational pull with a single jump.
And one time when a planet's tectonic plates started splitting apart, Threatening to shatter the whole world, he just jumped right in there and pulled the planet back together.
The estimated
Cool.
average mass of a single lithospheric plate is nearly 45 quintillion tons, and the Hulk pulled 2 of these together with nothing but his bare hands.
And he's not just strong and tough, he's more than twice as fast as a fighter jet, which puts
Wow.
him over Mach 5 speeds at least. And he can always go faster if he's pissed off enough.
This is because the Savage Hulk's strength is directly related to his anger. The angrier he gets, the more powerful he becomes. In theory, this means his maximum level of strength is potentially infinite. And when he taps into that immeasurable rage to the fullest, he truly lives up to his name of Worldbreaker.
Bigger, stronger, and oozing with gamma radiation, the Worldbreaker Hulk is so powerful, with a single stomp he created earthquakes felt hundreds of miles away. In his battle with Sentry, basically Marvel Superman, they almost destroyed New York.
Wow.
And when battling another Worldbreaker Hulk, a single collision between them obliterated an entire planet.
Even the mutant Darwin's power, which specifically adapts to counter any enemy, decided that the best defense against the Hulk was to be somewhere else.
Holy hell! Who could even stand up to this madness?
Not many, obviously. Typically, Bruce does his best to contain and limit the Hulk's power. In fact, Worldbreaker Hulk is a result of Bruce relinquishing that control entirely. In terms of combat, usually only cosmic beings like Silver Surfer or Zeus have the might to challenge the
Zeus.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
like that one time Zeus hit him so hard it burned out his healing factor.
Hulk. But even gods sometimes have to learn
Oh,
the
I
hard way.
love this clip.
You do not mess with the Incredible Hulk.
I am a
I love
god,
this
you
clip.
dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
That gets me every time.
Puny god.
What if
Doomsday.
all you had ever known was hatred and aggression, violence and pain? This life is reality for
YouTube comments, Doomsday, yeah, the Doomsday guy.
Thousands of years ago, on an uninhabitable prehistoric planet which would one day be known as Krypton, a scientist named Bertrand intended to engineer the ultimate life form.
Yep, it's another one of those stories, but with one hell of a twist.
See, at this time, Krypton was a harsh wasteland filled with nothing but sharp rocks, poisonous air, and violent predators.
Bertrand believed that if he could create something that could live through that, they could survive just about anywhere.
To realize this, nothing but sharp rocks, poisonous air, and violent predators.
Bertrand believed that if he could create something that could live through that, they could survive just about anywhere.
To realize this theory, Bertrand acquired an infant from somewhere, and through a rapidly accelerated evolution process, attempted to transform him into his dream creation.
Oh, don't try to dance
Yeah,
around it, Wiz.
I've seen
Bertrand put that
Doomsday's
little
origin
sucker
before.
into a baby cannon, blasted him into the wild
I
to
didn't
get
see the
murdered
holes.
by any number of things, sucked up what was left of him with a vacuum cleaner, and just cloned a new one out of the mess to do it all over again.
Well, yeah.
That's the Injustice
the idea
soundtrack.
being each new clone would be stronger than the one before, thus covering millions of years of evolution in just a few decades.
That doesn't sound like science.
No, it doesn't. So after 30 straight years of baby murder, one of the clones finally survived the test. Amazed by his own success, Bertrand named this baby the Ultimate.
The ultimate baby.
But to the
Whoa.
rest of the universe, he was their Doomsday.
Yep,
See,
there it
Wiz?
is.
Reloading as it is, patenting my baby cannon was a good idea.
Successful as Bertrand's experiment
I remember
was,
that.
it was anything but a good idea. Turns out, while Doomsday usually appears to be a mindless beast, he remembered every single time Bertrand had him killed.
Oh.
As a result, Doomsday had been unintentionally programmed at a genetic level to hate everything that lives.
Bummer. Needless to say, Bertrand was pretty screwed.
Because
Yeah.
even with 30 years of development, Bertrand had never quite figured out what to do if his experiment actually worked. Because Bertrand is the worst.
I mean, he did do what he set out to do. He made an 8'10" monster that doesn't need to eat, breathe, or have internal organs to live. It just kills and kills and kills some more.
Doomsday possesses enormous strength, incredible durability, and poisonous spikes which can extend. But due to Bertrand's experiments,
Oh, yeah, they did
Doomsday's
use,
greatest
Batman v
power of
Superman
all
clips.
is his ability to adapt to his opponent's powers.
After taking his sweet revenge, Doomsday stowed away on a supply ship and ravaged dozens of planets until he finally found himself on Earth.
On that day, Doomsday did the unthinkable. On that day, Doomsday killed Superman. Well, kind of. He actually put him into a super sleep. After several days, he kind of woke up more powerful.
Yeah, we all know, Wiz. At least Supes took Doomsday down with him. Or maybe not. Turns out, whenever Doomsday dies, he just comes back to life, forever immune to whatever killed him in the first place.
Can't beat me the same way twice.
He's been punched to death by Superman, blasted apart by the Radiant's energy, brutally ripped in half, incinerated by Imperiex, and just curb stomped by a Kryptonian horde.
Cool.
Practically invulnerable at this point, Doomsday's taken on Darkseid, tanking his Omega Beams
Wow.
and beating him to near death. He single-handedly defeated most of the Justice League and took on an energy attack that wiped out a fifth of a planet.
He's punched through the Phantom Zone, battled super beings called Gogs for a century, and even broken Wonder Woman's arms. Arms strong enough to help pull the Earth.
I didn't even know about that
During
one.
his rematch with the Man of Steel, after witnessing Doomsday survive an explosion equivalent to 1 million nukes, Superman realized that the only way to stop him was to send him to the end of time.
At his most powerful, Doomsday's mere presence can boil the ocean and disintegrate buildings. A casual stroll across Africa made wildebeest an endangered species just by walking around. But what he's got in strength, he really lacks in brains.
Not that he's dumb, he just literally lacks a brain. More often than not, Doomsday is little more than a one-track mind-killing machine. This makes his intentions predictable, and a clever opponent could use this to, say, lead him into a trap. And should that foe come up with a new way to hurt Doomsday, he could be killed.
Still, that's gonna be pretty goddamn hard to do.
I don't know who would win. I'm surprised they haven't used more clips from Batman v Superman.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, Wiz won't stop talking about this thing, so he wants...
And I only after so for ship relieved head on.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, who do I think would win? Alright, look. I'm gonna go with my gut here and say the Hulk. But I think Doomsday would win. But my gut says Hulk. So let's see who wins, my gut or my brain. Oh, good, it has good animations, thank God. Don't know why everyone's in different colours. Alright, let's see this.
Hulk smash ugly vehicles!
They used the Injustice version of Doomsday. I'm just happy they did that and not weird looking one like Batman v Superman's one. Wait, if this is Doomsday was beaten to death by Superman, then Hulk can't kill him through punching, can he? Oh! Oh, he's just split in half like he did in the film. I like the upbeat music.
Hulk hate you! Hulk hates spiky beard!
Spiky beans. Honestly, I didn't like the dreadlocks. Or the weird ponytail. I don't know. Did you just break Hulk's hands? Oh wait, Hulk has that healing factor, doesn't he?
You break buildings good, but Hulk, break walls!
Okay, if Doomsday survives this, Hulk is fucked. Oh! Oh! Oh, I didn't know his healing factor worked that quickly. Okay then, I finally have my answer.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Brain
With the
wins.
Hulk's immeasurable power and Doomsday's impossible immortality, this truly felt like a fight between an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
Hulk may have had the advantage in raw strength, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit.
I didn't know we could fight
Someone strong enough
Darkseid.
to break planets.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities, while that kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel Universe. In fact, the only foe that fast who Hulk's ever seemed to keep pace with in a one-on-one match was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage, Worldbreaker Hulk.
So overall, Hulk had strength and Doomsday had speed, but neither completely outclassed the other. At first glance, this one looked like it could go either way.
Which means the devil's in the very tiny details.
So why couldn't the Hulk's infinite strength just keep rising and eventually overwhelm Doomsday?
Well, even assuming Hulk's strength was infinite, his healing factor was not. Don't get me wrong, it can only be overtaxed by hits from absurdly powerful beings such as Zeus or Sentry, whom Doomsday certainly compares.
Naturally, Doomsday's crazy strength and speed started wearing that healing factor down.
Here's where it gets a bit tricky. The Hulk may look like a giant green monster, but he's still technically human, and his power directly correlates with his anger. A human being's anger stems from an increase in hormones and adrenaline in the body. However, the brain can only produce these chemicals at such a rate for a limited time, eventually giving up and turning apathetic. Therefore, Hulk's limitless power could never have existed without his healing factor. It's the key. It allowed his body to continue producing hormones and adrenaline far beyond the norm, theoretically an endless supply, thus increasing his superhuman power to an immeasurable degree. So Doomsday overtaxing his healing factor meant the Hulk could no longer maintain his increasing rage and Hulk form.
And if you're still skeptical, that's why there's a bunch of times in comics when a huge impact forced the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner, including that battle between Worldbreaker Hulk and Sentry. With his healing power beaten down, he literally couldn't keep himself angry enough to stay in Hulk mode.
I love science, but there's still one more thing. Thanks to his battles with Superman and other Kryptonians, Doomsday has evolved to a point where it's basically impossible to kill him with brute force alone.
I said that at the
So
beginning.
Hulk couldn't have killed him by just getting angry enough to punch harder than Doomsday ever felt.
Precisely. Here's the proof. Superman and Doomsday eventually had a rematch, in which Superman was much more powerful than their first battle. As we discussed before, Superman's power is also potentially limitless by way of continually absorbing solar energy, and at this point in his story, he'd begun to discover that.
But try as he might, despite his increased power, Supes couldn't kill Doomsday with blunt force a second time.
Ultimately, Doomsday's immunity to being ripped, impaled, incinerated, blasted with energy, and being beaten by blunt force from both focused and multiple sources means Hulk just didn't have the options available to take Doomsday out before his healing factor was overtapped.
I said that at the beginning.
On this day, Hulk met his doom. Doomsday.
The winner.
Okay,
is
I
Doomsday.
finally have an answer for that. Thank you. Be someone good next. Come on.
Time on Death Battle.
Nope, I have no idea who that is.
Hey guys, I'm Ben. I play with.
Finally, I have a reaction to that. Well, not a reaction. I finally know who would win. So, apparently my gut was wrong, but my brain was right. So that was great. I really wish I could tell these two what to fight against. Like, I have tons of ideas they could do, like Ghost Rider versus Hellboy. But that would be so cool. I finally know. Doomsday beats Hulk. I'm so happy that I finally realised that. I'm so happy now. Alright, it's been Masso 2010. If you want to play anything or react to anything, then put it in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, and see ya.